Your voice, your opinion, your community. Fact TV, free speech, protected.
The following is independently produced programming. The views and opinions expressed are those of the producers and do not reflect the views and opinions of Falls Area Community Television, our staff, or board of directors.
Secrets in the shadows, lost and found. Truth in every echo, loud and clear. Keep on with the long road, no more fear. In the halls of power, whispers grow. Every secret jacked beneath the undertone. Honest stories hidden in the glass. On this long road, in the truth we trust.
Hello, welcome to The Long Road. I'm your host, Chris Roberts. Today, we're going to talk about AI. AI is everywhere, and people want to make it even more. But what does people think about AI? What are the benefits of AI? What are the disadvantages of AI? What about the ethical and moral problems of AI? Department of Defense said over 2,000 missiles were fired by AI. No human involved. AI decides which target should they hit. What is the moral part of it? What is the ethical part of it? Who's responsible for it? Do you say, oh, nope, we'll just leave it up to AI and whatever AI does is okay with us? But how big is AI? Before I came here, when I was reading up, they said last year AI accounted for 92% of the increase in GDP. 92%. So everything else in the United States only resulted in an 8% increase in gross domestic product. It says 70 or 80 and even higher because of the stock market being 51,000 and higher is the result of AI. And the decisions they go. There's people putting trillions of dollars out there for AI. And it goes, hey, I'm such a company, such and such. Like, okay, SpaceX comes in, has an IPO, offering goes through the roof. It's now worth trillions of dollars. So what they do is, hey, I'm going to take part of this $1 trillion and buy this $6 billion company. Okay? So companies are buying each other, and so they're creating a false, really, economy. But how does that affect you? Well, if you're in a good 401 or an IRA, and you're going through the roof. But if you're not, you can be screwed. Okay. Last year when I was on here talking about AI, and I was taking highlights because there was a big conference in Stanford University about AI, the future of AI, benefits of AI. And then one of the lead contributors there, I can't remember his name, and he put in, it's like, what are we going to do with all the excess people? And that was pretty cold-blooded. We're looking to make profit from AI, and we're saying, well, other people are saying, hey, AI is going to create all these jobs. And so AI will create all these jobs. More people will be able to work. People will get paid more money. And so everything is Kumbala. Bingo. I'm trying to figure where did I hear that before? Oh, the land rush. Some of the oil fields, the railroads. Everybody was building railroads. Everybody was building, You got the telegraph lines, you got the oil wells. Everybody was doing that. Okay, but in the end, there was a few winners and there was a hell of a lot of losers. Is AI going to be any different? Well, they're looking at it. There's about 6 or 7 companies in the United States. You got Google, you got Microsoft, you got Mega, and you got a couple other ones that are just pumping all this money in. But where is this $1 trillion coming from? They're promising all these future profits, so people just keep up, pushing up the stock. And then they use the stock as leverage to buy this, to build data centers, all this stuff. But when I go and look at it, this kind of goes all the way back to the tulip bubble over 300 years ago, and has been a number of bubbles. Hey, we went into the Great Depression. We had the stock market crash because we had these bubbles. We had excess value, which was, quote, paper value, and then people were using the paper value to make investments back and forth. But when the paper value dropped, we've had some problems. Give you an example. Early this year, wasn't crypto, Bitcoin, something like 115,000 per coin? And I think it's down to 63,000. So if I have 115 and I go and say, yes, I want to buy a house, and I will use 80% of the value of my coin as a crypto. Okay? So now, today, 80% is worth about $50,000. A few months back, 80% was worth around $90,000. So that's $40,000 worth of collateral that totally disappeared. So now you may still have the coin, but the person who sold you the property and using your Bitcoin for collateral now is worth $40,000 less. How does that person make up that money? Then we got the housing bubble in 2008. Then we had the problem in 2011. We had one of them, I can't remember what year, in the 1990s, where the stock market crashed really big. Okay. Hey, someone goes out and buys American Eagles. In January, the price of silver was $121, and then with the markup, so you got an American Eagle coin for $135 per coin. I looked today, price of silver was down to 58. Just think, 58, 42. 58. So it has lost 50% of its value in 5 months. So just think, if you went out and bought 10 Silver Eagles in in January, you rounded off and everything for 140,000, and you're going, hey, everybody kept telling me the price of silver is going up, 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 up. I better get in before it goes up. Now, your $140,000 is only worth 70. But AI is contributing to a lot of this. AI is making a lot of these predictions and assumptions. And people believe that AI doesn't make mistakes. Okay? But AI can only give out based on what it was put in. So if I'm on the really conservative side, I'm going to put a lot more books that I agree in that AI can go. If I'm on the liberal side, I'm on the religious side. So I'm going to be kind of biased to what I put into the system. So when I ask AI questions, they're going to kind of be what I expected. But, you know, really, what do American people think about AI? And do they like it? They say, we'll put up with it. Or it is just too intrusive. Okay, Pew organization did a survey on how Americans view AI and impact on people and society. Okay, and here's some of the questions. Okay, you know, people are not really talking about how AI is going to help education. Well, even top name colleges are complaining because people can't read, they can't think, and if the teacher gives them a question, they just go to AI to get the answer. I've seen people and heard people up at the city council, and they're reading off their phone, and I'm going, that's AI, because AI came out at this level and you communicate at that level. So you kind of lose all your credibility because you're not really thinking your mind, you're reading what AI told you to read. And 53% of Americans think AI will rob Americans of their creativity abilities. 53% say it's going to get worse, and only 16% that AI will improve a person's creativity. 50% says AI will prevent people from having meaningful relationships with other people. Only 5% of Americans says AI will improve our ability to have conversation and get involved with other people. Half of Americans says no, it's going to make it worse. Okay. Hey, AI can say, hey, don't worry, you don't have to call somebody, I'll take care of it. You don't have to email, I will take care of it. So AI in a lot of ways can just put a barrier saying there's no need for you to communicate with other people. And 50% of the Americans believe that's what's going to happen. Okay? Making difficult decisions. And in difficult decisions, they could be life-altering decisions. Hey, should I take this job? Should I take this medical advice? Should I invest here? You know, so people are going to go in and ask AI this. But the thing is, you don't know the biases of the people who put the information into AI. 40% of the American people says AI will really lower your ability to make difficult decisions. 19% says it will improve your ability to make a difficult decision. Look at it this way. If you can't make a difficult decision, that's where a great number of people get trapped. This is a stone wall that you cannot get over around until you make a decision. If you can't make a decision, difficult decision, you are not going anywhere. Secondly, if you can't make that difficult decision, someone will make it for you. Okay? If you can't make the decision, maybe AI will make that decision for you, and it may turn out that decision wasn't in your best interest. Okay? 40% of Americans think AI is going to make the decision level worse. 38% of Americans have said AI is really going to lessen your ability to solve problems. We have trouble solving problems right now. And people are saying, 38% of the Americans say, holy crap, with AI, quote unquote, doing the thinking and giving us choices which we could pick, we're not really making a decision. AI is making a decision for you. And 29% of the Americans think it would be AI would help. 32% of the people are not sure or believe it's not going to make a difference. Okay, but here's the thing. Can I make you think creatively? Can AI help you make difficult decisions? Can AI help you solve problems? Yes. Yes and yes. But you have to have some basic skills before you can take advantage of AI. Okay? If you are not a creative thinker, if you cannot ask questions, but you accept what the teachers in school tell you, what your boss tells you, what your parents tell you, what the news media tells you, Facebook, okay? That is all input. That is all stuff. You combine all that, and then you read and read and read, and you collect all this information, and then you evaluate that information. Then you can benefit from AI. But if you do not have the ability to think creatively, you do not have the ability to make tough decisions, If you can't put all these together, yes, what the majority of the people, 53, 50, 40, and 38, they're right. AI is not going to help you. If you don't have the skills to use AI, how can AI help you? And where do you get those skills from? Do you get them in grammar school? Do you get them in middle school, high school? You get them in the college? So, you wait until you're 18, 19 years old to develop, being start taught AI skills? Don't think so. Okay, in 2021, 37% of American adults were more concerned than excited about AI. 45% were equally excited and concerned, and 18% were more excited than concerned. Hey, so basically in 2021, 5 years ago, one out of every 5 Americans were really excited about the possibilities and the benefits of AI. So they have one all every year, but I'll just skip to 2025. In 2025, 50% of Americans were more concerned than excited about AI. So in 2021, about a third, a little bit more than a third of Americans were more concerned than excited. 4 years later, 1 out of every 2 Americans are more concerned than excited about AI. Equally excited and concerned dropped to 38 from 45, but more excited than concerned went from 1 in 5 adults to 1 in 10 adults. So over the last 4 years, there's been some major shifts. So when you go 1 in 5 was excited, and now only 1 in 10 are excited, and now 1 in 3 were really concerned, now 1 in 2 are concerned. There's a big shift going on. Maybe the American people are not buying what the people are shelling out. Like, for example, I went to Hannaford's Father's Day. They only had 2 cashiers, long lines, and the self-serve cash registers that was there, and the line went all the way down to like aisle 5, I think it is, 5 or 11. And I'm going, I've never seen it that way. But hey, people are going to say, oh, AI. Well, you know what? Walmart, I've gone into Walmart and have only 1 or 2 people, one in the cash registers, and everybody has to go in the self-service. Is self-service better for you? Or you're excited about self-service? Or you're just upset because you really have no choice. You gotta go to self-service. Well, you got AI. And yeah, Walmart is great. Hannaford's is great. AI is great for them because, bingo, if I go in and scan a roll of toilet paper, that comes right off their computer. The AI will just will deduct it from in-store inventory. And once the inventory gets to a certain level and AI determines it's going to take 7 days to get it, AI will make that order. So a bunch of people have lost their jobs. Okay. Most Americans think it's important to be able to tell the difference between AI and human generated content, but very few are confident they can. You know, every now and then I'll say at the bottom, oh, AI contributed to this story. Okay, so I'm reading a story that may be 500 words and it says AI contributed. How many words did AI contribute? Well, it has an author up there, so out of 500, I know that author had to contribute one, but I have no idea how much of that article was done by AI. And I don't know which part of those articles were done by AI. Okay? People have used AI to change videos, giving you something a totally different picture. And it's getting easier and easier. People are going, hey, Jennifer Anderson, you know what? I've never seen a nude, so I can take a whole picture, bunch of pictures of Jennifer Anderson, throw it in the machine, and AI will spit out a nude picture of Jennifer Anderson. And then I can take that and use it in a movie, for example. Then Jennifer Anderson is going to have to sue to say that was totally inappropriate and that's not me. Well, it's on the internet, and how do you get? But that was AI. And for a lot of people, they're going to think those pictures are totally real. They will not be able to tell the difference. That's a big concern Americans have. It is important to me to be able to tell if these things were made by artificial intelligence or people. 76% extremely stated it's extremely important that they be told. Should everything that's created by AI have a thing right at the bottom that says this was created by AI? Or should people, quote, have to go out and learn how to pick out AI things? But AI is changing. Compared some of the AI pictures to 2-3 years ago, compared to AI now, and some of the stuff is so realistic, it's been places that they've made AI movies, don't even use a single person. All AI and it all looks real. Only 6% of Americans say it doesn't matter to them. They don't care. So basically, 1 in 16, 1 in 17 people, American adults, hey, I don't care. You know, maybe a lot of them like a lot of stuff that is produced by AI, which is immoral, unethical, but you know what? I enjoy the content. So that's where you're getting your 6% that is saying, nah, no big deal. Okay? Is what happened? What's the question now? AI is showing up in pedophile porn. Oh, wait a minute. These gross pictures are they're not pictures of real children. These are all AI made pictures. So what law am I breaking if I'm generating these pictures and not doing it, taking pictures of filming real children getting sexually abused? Legal issue. Only 12%, only 1 out of 8 American adults feel confident they can tell the difference between what is AI and what was done by a real person. Only 1 out of 8. give you an example. So if we have a presentation or we have a design and someone brings it to the city council, so there's 15 city councilors and the mayor, 16 people. Out of that group of 16 people, only 2 would be able to find out if it's real or not. The other 14 there would not know if it was real or not. So how do you make a decision on something if you don't know it's real or not? Good question. Yep, but put it together, very 53% of Americans are not too or not at all confident they can detect if something was made by AI. More than half the Americans cannot detect if it was made by AI or not. Oh, look at the problems that cause. If I watch a video on Facebook or something on Instagram, more than half the people don't even know if it's real or not. And then they're making decisions based on whether they think it's real or not. Okay. And so, most adults in the United States are not comfortable with AI. For example, yes, 65 and older, about 32%, 1 in 3 people over 65 know a lot or read a lot about AI. 50 to 64 is 42, 30 to 49 is 51, and 18 to 29 is 62. Otherwise, adults over 65, about 30% interact at least once a day or more often. 18 to 29, that's 53% of them interact with AI. Okay. Basically, they're saying between 2026 and 2030, 10 million jobs in America and 300 million jobs worldwide will be eliminated by AI. So some people report and say, oh no, but AI is going to create much more jobs and AI is supposed to be a gain. Well, tell me a new technology that's been an employment gain. So we had the knitting mills and we got different things. We had, say, the cotton fields. So yeah, when the gin, yeah, you put more. But the knitting mills, once they got in, technology improved, a lot of people lost their jobs because they didn't need them. Railroads, oh yeah, that's going to good. So railroads made money, some failed, kept growing. And now, if you look on a railroad today, look at all the people that used to work on the railroad, no longer there. You don't need flagmen, you don't need caboose. Plain and simple, you just need a couple of people in the engine, driving the engines. Technology, the purpose of technology is to increase production, to increase wealth, and they do that by reducing their highest expense, which is labor. Hey, look at the auto manufacturer. More robots they put in, the less people they work. I think General Motors just replaced a whole bunch of people with robots. There is nothing in history that shows new technologies in the long run increase jobs, increase people, the overall income. We're not talking about making people wealthy at the top, wealthy and wealthier, but at the work level. Okay, National University, they went through a whole bunch of government statistics, reports and everything, and this was May of 2025, it came out, and it goes, AI job statistics, future of American jobs. AI intelligence is rapidly transforming the U.S. job market, sparking widespread conversations and concerns about AI and job loss. AI is taking jobs and how many jobs are replaced. The statistic roundup compiles the latest data and trends on AI replacing job loss statistics, and the broad impact of artificial intelligence. Okay, based on this, they're saying 30% of American jobs will be replaced, could be replaced by 2030 by AI automation. 30%. Okay? 60% of the other jobs will be significantly affected by AI. People will have to develop AI skills or they will be out of a job. A lot of this paperwork and things like that is like, oh, well, this is a cost overrun or what's this? AI can do that. Then the person is just going to have to check a little bit and then can sign off on it. Basically, like it's saying 300 million jobs could be lost to AI, basically saying a little bit more than 9% of all the jobs worldwide will disappear because of AI. Basically, right now, 1 out of 11 jobs around the world could be replaced by AI in 4 years. Let's go back. In May 2023, when they did the jobs report, 3,900 jobs were directly lost to AI, making it the 7th largest eliminating of jobs that month. So in May 2023, and it's got even worse over there, basically 4,000 people were in the job in April. In May, those jobs were gone, replaced by AI. When you go in and look at Google and MCI, Mega, Microsoft, and some of the other ones, it was like 114,000 jobs have disappeared in the tech in about the last 6 to 7 months. All high-paying jobs. They were no longer needed because of AI. So far, 13.7% of U.S. workers have lost their jobs to a robot or AI-driven automation. Since 2000, automation and robots has resulted in 1.7 million U.S. manufacturing jobs lost. So like the president is going 1.7. So that's basically everybody in New Hampshire, almost putting New Hampshire and Vermont, all the work. You could probably take all the workers in New Hampshire, Vermont, and Maine. It's kind of like, oh, they all lost their job because they replaced by robots and automation. 14% of the people who work globally will be forced to change their career by AI in 2030. Okay, let's look at CNS. CNS is increasing more and more and more use of AI. Well, when I drive by the old place where FedEx was and CNS was in there, I don't see any cars anymore. CNS has been laying off a lot of people because they don't need them, replaced by AI. So 14%, 1 out of 7 people who are working right now, say they got out of college last year, this year, or whatever, they've been working, they may have to change their careers because of AI. 20 million U.S. workers are expected to be retrained in their career or use AI by 2030. 20 million. Just think of it. 20 million. So AI is going to affect the employment of about 1 in 3 Americans by 2030. By 2030, entry-level jobs, about 50 million entry-level jobs where teenagers work to make money and things like that, could disappear. There's McDonald's and other fast food places where there's nobody there. It's all done by AI. Bingo. You don't need a person to flip a burger or put a meal. Bingo, the machines can do it all. So they don't need them. So those jobs are a lot of those jobs are going to disappear. So basically, the big franchisees and the big companies who have the millions of bucks to use it will put the stuff in and they'll replace people. Some will do it the whole way. Other people will gradually do it. Why should I have someone flipping burgers when I have the machine will tell me, oh, put the burger on, oh, time to flip it over, bingo, time to take it out and put it in warm. I don't need anybody to do it. AI can take it. Okay, job entry-level software engineers will grow. Jobs in STEM are going to grow about a 50% increase. Installation, repair, and maintenance jobs are at very low risk from AI and remain in demand. So, hey, you're going to be a plumber or electrician. Those are good jobs. They haven't found a way to get AI to replace them. Personal services, food service, medical assistants, cleaners are less likely to be replaced by AI, but that has changed since this came out. Healthcare, nurses, therapists, aides are projected to grow as AI augments them rather than replaces. For example, nurse practitioners are projected to grow by 52% from by 2030. That's why it's getting harder and harder to get a doctor. They're going, why? We'll have AI do it. Bingo, put the information in, get it out. So why should I pay a doctor when I can get a nurse practitioner with AI? The clerical and administrative roles, secretary, data entry clerks, etc., are among the first to be automated. Bank tellers and cashiers, they're rapidly employment of bank tellers, which is done now, it's expected to decrease by another 15%. Telemarketers and call centers, you no longer going to have to worry about an accent anymore. They're going to be by AI-driven chat boxes. Medical transcribers, bingo, AI is going to take that. Customer service reps is going to decline by 5%. Low-paying service workers will see lower pay and declining employment rate. AI can take that. Okay, what can you do to keep a job? The number one thing to keep a job, to get a job and keep a job in the AI field, the new AI world, means communications, leadership, mega thinking, critical thinking, collaboration, character skills. They don't teach those in elementary school. They don't teach those in high school. They don't teach those in college. So where are you going to learn those? You go to especially one of those charter schools that in different cities to develop those. 66%, 2 out of 3 jobs will require human skills and human technology combination. Get rid of HR, because HR, you know what? Human skills is not going to cut it. Not a part. Analytic thinking, curiosity, and lifelong learning are among the top 10 skills on the rise for future jobs. Does high school, college teach curiosity, or do we march everybody to the same drum? Analytic thinking. You go, hey teacher, I've been looking at this and I don't agree with you, and this is the reason why I don't agree with you. Oh, that's analytic thinking, that's critical thinking, that's the ability to take this mega data, go through it all. Yep. Now you also have to have creative thinking. You have to be resilient, flexible, and agile to rise sharply if you're going to get promoted. But wait a minute. Resilience? Well, we don't want to upset Johnny or Susie, or we don't want to have to talk to their mother, so we're going to give them a B. Oh, you're paying $25,000 a year. You really don't show up, and you can't read past the 8th grade level, and you don't understand middle school math. You're going to graduate on the dean's list, and you're going to get one of those Latin terms. You're going to get an extra special thing to wear, but you're not going to get a job. You're going to be stuck with this high college debt, but you're not going to get a job. Just think, here it is, to repeat that. This is how education has to change. If people are going to get out of high school and get out of college to fit into the new world. Okay? Just think. Communication skills. Leadership skills, mega the big long word. It's basically getting all this stuff and be able to think through it and see what the connections are, which is not the connections. Critical thinking. Teacher, I don't think this is correct, and this is why. Collaboration. Working. Well, I want to be the valedictorian. So I'm not really going to collaborate. I may kiss some butt and everything to get good grades, but I'm not going to collaborate. I'm going to regurgitate whatever the teacher wants, because we know, especially in college, the teacher will tell you what he or she thinks and what he or she believes. And if you want to get an A, just find low data and use that data to reinforce the teacher's thinking and beliefs. Even if you know it's wrong, you don't agree with it, but if you go against the grain, you might get a C, and that'll hit your grade point average. So what you do is you learn just to give the teacher, it may be $25,000, $30,000 just to regurgitate what the teacher asked. So you figure you're on the dean's list, you got that Latin thing, and you're going to get a job. Unfortunately, you're not. And in the United States, there's a lot of PhDs collecting food stamps or working at some community college as adjunct faculty, maybe for $3,000, $4,000 a course, hoping and praying they'll become a regular, get tenured, but it's never going to happen. Character skills. You cannot develop character skills unless you allow people to fail. You develop character by failing. And then what do you do after you fail? Do you take responsibility for your failure? Do you do something extra to make sure you don't you correct the failure and you don't make the same mistake next time? You got the critical thinking, you gotta have resilience. How do you get resilience? By failing. You play dodgeball, you get hit in the head. Oh, you can cry, or you can have the teacher say, well, we got to make sure we have something that no one gets upset because they failed. Okay? No resilience development, no character development. Flexibility. Wait, flexibility. How is you going to teach flexibility? Sit down, shut up, listen, go to page 42. We'll read 42 to 49, and then 5 minutes before the class ends, I'm going to ask a few questions. Nope. That's not flexibility. That's like flexibility is when a kid goes, hey, teacher, I was watching the History Channel and this came up and I have a question. Inflexibility is when the teacher says, hold that thought. We're going to be getting to that in 4 weeks. Nope. Okay. And agility. So, how do you develop curiosity in the kids? Well, you can get, you could have this critical thinking, you can have this flexibility, you can have analytic and curiosity, and I will guarantee you, any kid, boy or girl, who develops those skills and uses those skills will become a threat to their teacher or their professor. I may have graduated out of college 10 years ago with a history degree. What was true 10 years ago is not necessarily true now. I may not have gone back or read over the past 10 years, but my 9th grade student, yes, can go to Google, can go to AI, can go to the Library of Congress, can go to the Internet Archives and gather all this information and say, teacher, you are wrong. You are misinformed. Do it politely and everything, but they're still going to be upset. So we have an education system that cannot produce children ready for the AI world. 79% of employed women in the U.S. work are in jobs at the high risk of automation. 58% of the men. High-income nations, 9.6% of women's jobs are at the highest risk compared to 3.2 men. Okay, that shows what, like I said, with Mega and Google, when they're laying off people, those are 6-figure jobs. So America is really concerned about the AI future. Some of them are not concerned that much because they're old enough. Hey, big deal. But they're concerned about their children. They're concerned about their grandchildren. And now we've been really concerned about the quality of education to produce what we have today. But AI is going to change and is changing it. But our education system has not and is not changing to prepare our children for the AI system. So the benefits for AI is going to be limited to students that self-teach, self-learn, and for parents who prepare their children. Otherwise, education system and our colleges are going to be a waste of money, a waste of time, and a big failure.